In May 2023, Lithuania's leadership approved plans to set up a division, something that LRT points out has never been done in the country before. The public broadcaster adds that defense experts say that the country's military resembles a quote-unquote one-battle army and will require a lot of work to get up to the division level. So with the continued popularity of my military-focused videos, let's examine this topic and how Lithuania wants to increase the size of its land forces. Alright, at this point, I'm worried I've scared away all the people who subscribed over the past 2 years who have zero interest in learning about Lithuania's military. As I've said a few times, and will continue to say, I'm trying to maintain a 50-50 balance of military and non-military content. But again, I have to say, this stuff does interest me, and it's clearly of interest to others. So why not go for it? For the non-military viewers who are just along for the ride, let's quickly explain military unit sizes, at least at the higher level. This one chart illustrates things the best for me, but numbers seem to be all over the place in terms of defining units. So the numbers I'm about to list are different from the diagram. So a battalion consists of 500 to 1500 soldiers. A few battalions will combine to form a brigade, which is understood to be anywhere from 3000 to 5000 soldiers. And then a few brigades will form a division, which would then be between 10,000 and 25,000 soldiers. According to Lithuania's Chief of Defense, General Valdemaras Rupšys, a hypothetical Lithuanian division should have around 17,500 troops. LRT pointed out in its 2023 report that officially Lithuania has 2 brigades with around 11,000 soldiers in full-time service. It's rather interesting that even Lithuania's public broadcaster notes that there are only 2 brigades. Why do I say this? Well, as a technicality, there is a 3rd brigade in the form of the Aukštaitija Light Infantry Brigade. This was formally established back in 2017, but it's largely understood to be more or less of a paper brigade, or a brigade on paper. And so it's not one filled with immediately combat-ready battalions. Instead, the brigade is largely comprised of reservists. Funny enough, going on to the Lithuanian Armed Forces website and looking at their land forces units, the Aukštaitija Light Infantry Brigade isn't even listed, and the unit's been around now for about 8 years. Going back to the desire for a division, a group of Lithuanian military bloggers from the organization Locked and Loaded had this to say in 2023. There is a lot of undone homework. Realistically, we can say that the 1st Brigade, Iron Wolf, is being finalized, but Žemaitija Brigade is inexcusably light and incomplete, and the Reserve Brigade, Aukštaitija, is just a name and a flag. The LRT said that one answer could be conscripts, but extensive training and increased recruitment would need to take place first. There's actually a lot of things experts say are needed. A lecturer at the military academy says that Lithuania needs mobile air defense, additional artillery, and additional rocket artillery. Reconnaissance units would also require drones capable of collecting data beyond 100 kilometers. And when it comes to air defense, the mid-range resembles system is no longer enough to create the defense area of a division. Defense experts also say that the country needs tanks, something that will eventually be coming with an order of Leopard 2s from Germany. But that same military academy lecturer says that the 50 tanks being ordered isn't enough, and that around 100 would be needed for the division. Without tanks, you cannot have any illusions of counterattacking, and any defense without counterattacking has no meaning. This was said by retired Colonel Gintaras Ažubalis. Money and soldiers are needed, and they're both in somewhat short supply in Lithuania. An LRT report in June noted that it was estimated that the cost of creating the division will amount to nearly 200 million euros annually. The LRT report a month earlier said that Lithuania may need up to 6 billion euros, which is 3 times as much as last year's annual defense spending. And until that is achieved, all hopes are pinned on the Allies. The LRT report more or less concludes.
Okay, Lithuania, I can't afford a $22 billion Zumwalt class destroyer either, but we see how this is one of those important reasons that they need to be part of NATO to kind of fill in those gaps.
And yeah, in a way, the presence of a full German brigade could bring things up to the divisional level. Plus, we also have to remember that the US Army stations 2 battalions in Lithuania, which rotate in and out every 9 months. It's not much when you're looking at trying to fill a division, but, well, it's something. I think the most difficult part of all this will be funding, and there's even talk of a specific tax for these defense plans. As noted by LRT, many politicians and experts agree that Lithuania needs more funding to host a German brigade, establish a military division by 2030, and increase the number of conscripts.
Some experts have expressed concerns regarding the cost of the relocation and maintenance, which is estimated to cost around 30 million euros per month.
A defense tax has been one of the suggested ways to increase funding in the country. Now, increasing or introducing taxes is never a politically popular move. In fact, a survey conducted by LRT found that just around 40% of people in Lithuania would support a new defense tax from 2025. 54% said that they wouldn't support such a tax. I'm not exactly sure where the remaining 6% fit, but maybe they're neutral? I don't know. I won't get into funding too much for this video, but I only mention it to say that there are some big hurdles to overcome before this land forces division can be set up. Such investments might be considered as having little tangible return. Yes, deterrent is the result that we're all hoping for, but it's rather intangible and hard to measure. After all, it's not like Russia will put out a statement saying, well, we were going to attack, but because there's a larger military presence there, we changed our plans. That would be nice though.
Oh, okay.
But I was thinking that another intangible result of this military investment is reassuring local and international businesses that Lithuania is still a safe place to invest in. It's my understanding that this is one of the reasons why Singapore invests so heavily in its own armed forces, since it's a financial hub with no natural resources.
Singapore's founding prime minister said that in order for the tiny nation to survive, it would have to become a poisonous shrimp, meaning the island would have a military so powerful that larger powers would think twice before trying to attack.
Singapore sees its defense investments as a signal to foreign investors that this place can be defended.
And no, Lithuania is no Singapore, but if it hopes to even come close one day, it will need to remain a free and independent nation, projecting a low risk of conflict.
The reinforcement of Lithuania is high on the agenda as concerns grow about a potential attack from Moscow.
And so I'll have to pass the question over to you. What do you think of Lithuania's aspirations of having a division? And knowing that all of this stuff costs money, would you be willing to pay more in taxes to boost Lithuania's defense capabilities in order to further deter Russia? Leave your opinion down in the comment section. And as always, thanks for watching. If you enjoy this channel and want to support me in making more videos, please consider becoming a Patreon patron. Members will get early access to future videos, along with some other fun little perks. There's a link to this down in the description. Thanks again for watching.